So we're gonna move on to our topic of the week, and we're gonna have our Reds best moments of our lifetime. And basically, what we're going to do is we're going to just read through, like our top five best moments of our lifetime. Obviously, I have more life than Sam as far as experiences watching the Reds and some of their better moments. But it'd be interesting to see the different generations and what they think their best moments. And the way we're going to do this is, like I said, it's pretty much you're going to start with the year you first remembered being a Reds fan and those types. So for me, even though I was born, 6 years before the 75 season, that was the first year I really started to follow the Reds. And so, from there on till now is what I'm going to be doing my experiences with. So with that, Sam, you want to start or do you want me to go?
Yeah, I can start. I mean,
Okay.
mine kind of starts. I have some vague memories of earlier stuff, but really, like my memories kind of coincide with Great American Ballpark, kind of that 2003 area. I have a couple vague memories of 2001, 2002, just because we probably went to a game or two then. But I couldn't really tell you anything else other than I just kind of remember baseball. But the first thing that kind of jumps to mind, because obviously there's been no playoff success, is Jay Bruce's walk-off home run to clinch the division. That just kind of, I think everybody my age, that's kind of just the first go-to.
First go-to thing.
And I mean, really, that's kind of the first go-to for all of Cincinnati sports that we have. Because that was, the Reds hadn't been to the playoffs. I think that was the first time in my lifetime they had gone to the playoffs. In 2010, because they went in 95, but I wasn't born yet.
That's right.
So
you weren't exactly.
So yeah, I don't think that they, I don't think that they had been to the playoffs.
No.
So until then, that was a huge moment. So I remember watching that game and watching the highlights and going to school the next day and everybody talking about it and stuff. So
all right, my first one. I remember this to the day. I was at college at Purdue University. In the house that my sister and her husband, we all rented it together, and sitting in the living room and watching game one of the World Series, and Eric Davis hits the first inning home run off of Dave Stewart, go up 2-0, and just electric. I mean, that set the tone and for the sweep, and it was just, that right there, because nobody, it was that team wire to wire, and nobody gave them a chance against the Bash brothers and the A's, but they proved them wrong there. All right, what's another one for you?
God, it's not really, it is Reds, but Todd Frazier winning the home run derby in GABP. That was a huge moment. That was really cool.
That was big, yeah.
In GABP to have, especially because it was Todd Frazier. One of the all-time good dudes to put on a Reds uniform. Everybody loved him. Bit surprising that he even won the home run derby. That kind of stuff. His brother was throwing to him, so it was just a cool moment.
Right. Yeah. I do have that on my list. Down a little bit, but
I'm not working with quite the
right,
here.
Exactly, because my second one happened September 11th, 1985. That was Pete Rose's 4,192nd hit to become the all-time hit king, and mercy was that exciting to watch when he was going for that. And the big thing was, is he going to do it in Chicago or not, because he tied the record in Chicago, and Pete is Pete. He's playing against right-handed pitchers, and he was sitting the bench against left-handed pitchers, and they had a lefty throwing on that Sunday, and so Rose sat out, and then they came back to Cincinnati, and then he got the hit against Eric Shout. So yeah. All right, number 3.
Number 3, it's really 3 and 4. It's Ken Griffey Jr.'s milestone home run. So his 500th. I remember on Father's Day, I think we were listening to the game, just having a catch, or you were grilling or something. And when he hit it, and then we ran inside so we could watch it on SportsCenter because we didn't get Reds. That was in Kokomo.
That was in Kokomo. That's right.
And that was at that time we had, I believe it was called Fox Sports Midwest.
Yes.
So it was Reds home games we could see, but Reds away games they did not broadcast. So we had to listen to those on the radio. And then we ran inside to watch it on ESPN because we knew they would do a cutaway and show it. So that was really cool. And then, obviously his 600th home run, it wasn't on Father's Day or anything. It was, in crappy Miami, with no fans in the stadium.
Right.
But his family was there for that game. So that was, a cool moment, I'm sure, for him.
Well, yeah, his dad, Ken Sr. was there on Father's Day.
On Father's Day. But I mean, like,
cool
his
too.
family lived in the Miami area.
About those. Stuff. But that was good. So my number 3, in this was the 76 World Series sweep of the New York Yankees. That's when 75, I remember bits and pieces of the World Series. And I have that on my list down, but I was, like I said, I was 5-6 years old, and I for the 75 World Series, so I only know bits and pieces of it. But the 76 was when I actually watched every single game. Johnny Bench's 2 home runs, just dominating the Yankees, which was always a good thing. And it was my first taste of being a true fan of the ball club and being with them from opening day to the World Series, and you just felt like as a kid, you just felt like you were part of the team. So that was my third one there. You got any more?
I really don't.
Okay.
Not that or anything worthwhile.
All right, so I'll go down. Like I said, we were going to do 10, but Crawley's not here, so we're just doing this.
At least Cycle a couple years ago was awesome.
Yeah.
But it's just not. I mean, that was pretty cool.
That was.
I mean, cool. I guess I could think of another couple. So if you want
to. So basically, I had one that you had. So my 4th was Jay Bruce's pennant clinching home run, which was, like you said, it brought Reds baseball back to being relevant. And then I had for me, I think it was 2000, Ken Griffey Jr. coming home. When that trade happened.
The trade itself.
Oh my gosh! You talking about excitement? Because Junior was in his prime, and I mean, we were ordering World Series tickets right then and there. But injuries, pitching, happened. So that was number
Cincinnati
5.
Happened.
Cincinnati happened, right? That was my number 5th. And then my number 6 one was I was actually at the game with my dad. It was Johnny Bench's when he broke Yogi Berra's home run record for catchers. I remember sitting out there in the green seats in left center field, and that ball came probably one section over for where we were at. But it was just so cool seeing one of your favorite players, break a record, and at home at Riverfront Stadium. So that was pretty cool. And then I had my 7th one was the Todd Frazier home run derby. That was, the whole city was electric during Derby weekend. All the fan festivals things, and then the actual home run derby. It was unbelievable. Then I had the 75 World Series victories against the Red Sox. Like I said, I don't remember a ton. I just remember the first game when it got rained out, and then the next game, and the start time was pushed back. It probably didn't start till like 9:15, and Opal was like, "You got to get to bed. Sorry." So because I had school the next day, and I was, like I said, I was 5-6 years old at the time, and he's like, "Get to bed." So I had to go to bed, and not really, get to watch, but I remember they showed the starting lineups, and you know, when they come out and shake everybody's hand, and then that was it. My number 9 one was Tom Browning's Perfect Game. You know, that was electric as well. And then 10th, I had a couple of, I had a tie for 10th, and Ellie had 2 of them. So it was his cycle, which was just electric for Ellie, and then his 3 stolen bases on 2 pitches
against the Brewers.
Against the Brewers.
Yep.
And then I also had the last one I had was Scooter Jeanette's 4 home run game.
Yeah.
So those are mine.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about that one. Yeah. I would have included Scooter in there for sure. Because, I mean, that was a terrible season. they were wearing those stupid camo uniforms.
Yes, but it was for Military Appreciation Night.
Yeah, but I mean, those uniforms are ugly.
Well, they were, but 4 home runs, though, wasn't.
Yeah, and against the Cardinals, too, which makes it a little sweeter.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. You have any others you were thinking of?
No, I mean, you know, one of my favorite Reds players of all time, Ryan Friel, just, you know, memories of him making all those diving plays and everything. I mean, not, you know, any real big moments, you know, I just haven't had the team success to have those team moments, you know. So outside of some individuals. I mean, when Votto won the MVP in 2010, that was pretty big.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the only, I guess India won Rookie of the Year, but you know, in terms of major awards, you know, the Reds don't get too many of those. So that was big.
Yep, it was. Well,
Homer Bailey's 2 no-hitters in like 6 months or whatever that got him paid, and Cueto kicked to the curb. But
exactly. Well,
so maybe that's not a good memory.
Well, I was going to say, yeah, they paid him instead of Cueto. Oh well. All right. Well, I hope you liked our. I guess you want to go our jog down memory lane here. If you have a moment, tell us what your favorite moment was, your best moments of your lifetime when you started to remember the Reds, and give us a shout out on our social media accounts. You can leave it in comments on YouTube. This will probably be posted up on Tuesday, but you can share your thoughts with us on all our social medias at CincySportsScene. Look for us there. We appreciate your liking, subscribing, and making any comments on our show. And speaking of our show, next week we'll be back, and we're going to play a little game. It's going to be called "Can You Name the Cincinnati Icon?" And that should be fun. So we'll come up with a list of iconic Cincinnatians, whether it's a person, a place, or a thing, and we'll have clues, and we'll see who can name the most. So until next time, for Crawley, who cannot be here, Sam, and I'm Dave. Everybody, take care.
See ya.